welcome to another edition of Smart Chat here on YouTube.com, and thank you for watching, liking, subscribing to my channel. If you haven't done so, please do so right now. I want to do a wrestling video, some raw thoughts for you. Haven't done a wrestling video in a while, but I'm here. Let's do it. Let's do it. First, Seth Rollins, when you look at him, maybe it's just me, when I look at him on my TV screen, maybe because he has that Rick Rude physique, he comes off very small. Now, I know he's not a small guy. I think he's 6'2", 6'3", because he towers over J&J Security. But I don't know, he just looks small to me. Like what they did, Rollins versus Neville. Glad that Neville is not living up to that Mighty Mouse gimmick, supposedly, that WWE is trying to run with. But I like the fact that you had Neville lose to Rollins. Rollins is the top guy, storyline-wise. He's the WWE champion. With Neville losing so early and being close to winning and defeating Rollins, it builds up credibility, builds a respect with the audience in the crowd and at home. If you remember when John Cena, like him or not, he's been around for, what, 10, 15 years already. His first match against Kurt Angle, he lost. He lost. But he almost won. So with this, that first week when Neville came in, beat a lower to mid-card guy, that was the highlight. That was the showcase. Now, you're building on him, introducing him to the audience, having the audience respect him. And he doesn't have to win week in, week out. If you put him on one of these winning streaks, where he would win week in and week out, when he loses, then it would just completely, I think, just deflate him. Deflate him. He would take a couple of 100 steps back. Speaking of which, you had Rollins, and you had Roman Reigns, the guy who supposedly everyone thought would win, and he didn't. But I like what the WWE is doing with him now, just having him come out there, kick ass, not speak, and leave. And I think eventually the WWE will forget about booing him. But for the last 3 months, we've seen Big Show versus Roman Reigns. Why on earth do we have to have this for every week for the last 3 months? Granted, Big Show loses 9 times out of 10, but you figure that they would be able to put on a decent match, for goodness sakes, which hasn't been happening. Maybe the WWE is doing this because by defeating a 500-pound guy, it builds some credibility for Roman Reigns. Who knows? Backtrack to Seth Rollins. I think a lot of people popped when he won the Money in the Bank. But I think that pop is going away. I just don't see his run being anything memorable. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but it seems like they're building him up like an Edge title run where he's winning by cheating or counting himself out and disqualifying himself. Only difference is this man is not Edge. Talked about Reigns and Big Show. Hopefully the crowd will forget about Reigns and you'll forget about booing him. Crowd, once upon a time, booed Ryback. And after this week, you get the impression that Ryback is once again going to be in the main event picture. But it seems like the WWE doesn't have that full confidence in him. He's always there with someone else. The fans no longer cheer Ryback. They no longer cheer Goldberg at him. Feed Me More is over, but they still don't have that confidence 100%. He's like a Dolph Ziggler. He's just waiting in the rings. Where someone is injured, he will step up. And maybe if you're a Ryback fan, if you're Ryback, you're happy with that. Who knows? Now, it's said that when once a certain person leaves, someone takes their spot. AJ Lee retired And now it seems like Naomi is taking that spot. But if it's Naomi, that ring gear didn't really look well on her. It didn't look flattering. Messy in the ring. Maybe she had an off night. But if you're Naomi, if you want to take that spot, I think you got to improve. WWE, via the Primetime Players, finally acknowledged that Ascension, who I've said before reminds me of a ripoff of LOD, What a Hush, and that the New Day both sucks. I think this is an instance where it makes all the right reason to finally turn New Day heel. Now, I don't think they're going to be a Nation of Domination heel faction, not in this era, more like a comedy act heel faction. Love that promo that Big E did. If you follow him on Instagram and Twitter, he's a generally funny dude. It's just he hasn't been able to show that charisma and that character in this group that he's in with New Day. Maybe yesterday's promo was the beginning of things. You've broken up Mizdow and Miz. You've broken up Stardust and Goldust. So you've lost two tag teams. Can you please bring back the Wyatt family? Luke Harper, who was, I thought, the next Bruiser Brody, big shoes to fill, I know, goes from being Intercontinental title holder to demolishing Dean Ambrose to now losing cleanly to Ryback and relatively quickly. Rowan, who is completely lost, he was in the Survivor Series angle with the fired angle and the Battle Royal. He's just not able to do anything. He's so lost. These two need each other. Bring back the bring back the Wyatt family. Primetime Players, make them face millions of dollars. That Roman Reigns bark is over. People want to cheer him. Making Titus O'Neil heel long time ago made no sense. How over is that luchador clap, huh? I mean, seriously. Now, Byron Saxton, where it is that a lot of people are high on him. I like him. I like him in the round table. I like him with Corey Graves and Renee Young. They're the next set to come up. But he is just so lost being out there on the announced team. And honestly, I had enough of him for 2 years. I had enough of Byron Saxton on Raw for the next 2 years. Maybe Byron Saxton's a bit nervous. You're on Raw, still trying to get his feet wet. Constant piping in of things to say, things to sell. Maybe he, maybe just JBL and Booker T are just too quick-witted for him and he's completely lost. Overwhelming. The way it looks like, based on the storyline that they have with Michael Cole, that he won't be back next week or anytime soon. Extended vacation. So, interesting to see what happens with the Raw announced team. Last thing. 2 things. Didn't it seem like Raw sucked without the Authority? I mean, honestly. Last thing. I'm a TNA fan. Pains me. But you no longer have AJ Styles, Sting, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff on the payroll. But if the rumor is true, why are you 2 weeks behind? I mean, 2 months behind in paying your talent. I mean, really? Who is TNA going to induct into the Hall of Fame? Question. Just some of my thoughts on Raw and other wrestling-related items, things. Let me know your thoughts. Until next time. Adios, over and out.